Greetings and welcome. It's good to be together again. Today, this time is intended to discuss what kind of impact we would like to make in the world, starting with ourselves. It's about being the non-anxious presence in the midst of chaos. You are the center of your own anxiety, or lack of it, and a bubble of your feelings extends outward from you, affecting all those who enter your field. May we hold this thought in our hearts as we proceed through our time together. If you're enjoying our virtual church services, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information about the UU Virtual Church of Fitchburg and Lancaster, Massachusetts, or for family religious education resources during the outbreak, contact information, or to make a donation, please look for the links at the end of this program. Now, find a comfortable position, take a few deep breaths, and allow this next half hour to unfold. Silence your cell phone and have a cup of coffee or even a glass of wine. There is no anxiety here, and this time is for you.
This is the poet Rumi with a poem called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
This candle of concern is lit in honor of all the volunteers and essential workers who are putting themselves in harm's way for the sake of life continuing as normally as possible. May they remain safe and healthy. This is a candle of joy. With so many families at home, people are fostering and adopting animals so fast, the shelters can't keep up with the demand. Truly a good thing. And this is another candle of joy because as a result of our reduced air pollution, citizens in India can see the Himalayas and people in Nairobi can see Mount Kenya, both for the first time in decades. May we learn something valuable that we won't forget. I invite you to email me with your joys and concerns through the contact information at the end of this program. I'm happy to include them. And I light this final candle for all the joys and concerns which remain in our hearts, but are unspoken. All shall be well.
All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well.
For the kids and young at heart among us, I have a question for you. Did you know that you are incredibly powerful? You can change things just by being you. Did you know that you can actually make someone feel better just by giving them a hug or sending them a note or a text or giving them a call? The truth is that most grown-ups think that kids are completely self-absorbed and don't think of very many people but themselves. So when you, as a kid, take the time to actually prove them wrong, it blows their minds. So consider that. Consider doing things on purpose to make someone else feel better or to feel calmer when they're worried. Tell them it will be okay. Tell them that you are proud of them for trying so hard. Tell them that you love them. Tell them how grateful you are for what they do for you. Most grown-ups won't tell you just how powerful you are because they don't realize it either. At least not until someone special like you walks straight up to them and tells them, "I'm proud of you, and I think you're amazing." Just see what they do when you say that.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your healing power. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. O Spirit, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to giving love to all that we receive, and in dying that we're born again.
Take a deep breath. Make yourself even more comfortable. And relax. On Thursday morning this week, many of us woke to a blanket of mid-April snow covering the branches and buds. The flowers drooped with it. They looked slightly annoyed. This happens often in New England in the spring. Extra little blasts of a winter that doesn't want to leave. Just as we become accustomed to the spring arriving, we are thrown a curve that triggers our resentment of something that is far more beautiful in the fall than the spring. In the fall, we still complain, but there's a little novelty to it, keeping us from fully loathing it. In the spring, it can, well, frankly, piss us off. But the other good thing about a spring snowfall is that its beauty is fleeting. It's usually gone by mid-morning. I decided to take pictures of it before it disappeared so that I could be thankful for the extra nitrogen it's adding to the soil, so that I could take the time to be grateful for the impermanence of it. For a photo only reminds us of the past. It never truly recreates it. There is beauty and love and goodness and appropriateness in all of the unexpected curveballs which life throws at us. Sometimes hard to see unless you're on the lookout for it. Perhaps being on the lookout is the only way to see the value inside our struggles. Perhaps a mindset of looking for silver linings and counting blessings and manufacturing some of your own luck is the life practice which saves us most. For then we are open to the love which was always there. We just never noticed it. Breathe deeply and return. It's a point system, really. Sometimes we are carrying around a lot of points against us. Sometimes we arrive into stressful situations carrying the baggage of one or more already stressful situations in our lives. How many points are you carrying around right now? We love to worry like it's our job. We feel we're being productive with our downtime if we're gnashing our brains over something. How many things are you worrying about right now? We justify that we are giving our concerns ample consideration and prayer if we maintain sufficient angst over them. But I have news for you. That's a lie our biology is telling us in order to preserve itself. Not that preserving our biology is a bad thing, of course. Our biology is essential to life, but its base instincts do have their shortcomings in the modern world. Our brains are wired for immediate gratification, not future planning. It's the difference between what's called an immediate return environment and a delayed return environment. Our mammalian brains are wired to take shelter when it rains, not go to school, get a job, build a house. Hunter-gatherers would hunt and gather when they got hungry for the food they would eat in the immediate. The advent of future planning is still very recent to us in evolutionary terms. So while we have developed the capacity to create advanced plans using our newfangled neocortexes, we still have the old knob and tube wiring back there as well, influencing the whole. Anxiety is logical, even if not ideal. It's what we do about it that separates us from our ancestors. Some people have the ability to walk into a room and alter the energy of the space by their presence alone. You might call that having an energetic talent or a reputation for being an easygoing person that precedes them. Or they might be shrewd and calculating with what they say or do so as to avoid any unnecessary confrontation. Here's a second piece of news for you. It's all the same thing. We prefer to think that we leave our troubles at home when we go to work or school. It's considered a mark of professionalism. We'd certainly rather that be the case, but we're nowhere near as good at it as we like to think. Unfortunately, statements of leaving our troubles at home refer almost exclusively to keeping our mouths shut about them. But that doesn't answer the state of our minds and hearts on the subjects of them. And those thoughts and feelings and brain chemicals and heart rate and blood pressure and concentration are what actually fulfill and inform your work, not your silent mouth. So immediately disabuse yourself of the notion that you don't walk into a room with all of your points on you at all times. They are always with you. Knowing that, what would you like to do about the number of points you have? And what would you like to do about the number of points you accumulate? Finally, what would you like to do about the environments over which you have a little bit of influence? The answer is to seek to be the non-anxious presence. If you want to positively impact a system, a relationship, or an environment, simply be at peace within it. Use spiritual principles to find a path toward being accepting of things over which we have no control, so that we have the greatest capacity for changing things for the better. It's an excellent thing with which to occupy yourself while everyone else thinks the sky is falling. The other day we had quite a storm. The power had gone out. Apparently a tree at the end of our block fell and knocked down a power line. Eventually it came back on. But I had to keep redirecting my thoughts back to the non-anxious presence I wish to be, even for myself. It's difficult. There's no denying it. And it's pointless to pretend that even the masters always had it under control. There are few spiritual masters in recorded history whose stories do not include them throwing a fit or two. A few of them have even been murderous. Don't judge your insides by someone else's outsides. Usually their insides aren't that different from your own. You're just not hearing about the full story. I used to lecture to students in a nursing program at a local community college on esoteric thinking in medicine. I asked them to conduct an imaginary scientific study. If we took a large group of study participants, all of them nurses, and had half of them go about their routines as normal, and the other half, we have take one deep cleansing breath before entering every patient's room. That's it. Over the course of an imaginary study year, which group's patients do we think would have better overall outcomes? Of course, we'd have to actually conduct such a study to be certain, but we know enough in general to anticipate what the result might be. I'd guess that the nurses who mindfully breathed, even with only a single breath before engaging with their patients, would have a tendency to be more relaxed during their assessments. The patients would likely be more relaxed as well. What do you think the imagined outcome might be of that? To say nothing of what might be occurring on an energetic level about which we can only speculate. This is a choice. As much as we like to pitiably think of ourselves as having no choice in anything, To be sure, we rarely have a choice in what befalls us or our loved ones or our communities. But we have all the choice in the world about what kind of influence we would like to have over them. Choose to be the non-anxious presence. Choose to infect your environments with ease and benevolence. Not only is it a good basic practice, but it's really entertaining. Try walking into a room full of people who are losing their minds over some pointless drama without batting a single eyelash. Cool and collected. It drives them nuts. Bring popcorn. Let us pray. Gracious Spirit, thank you for all the blessings in our world. Thank you for the ingenuity we've been given and every good way in which we use it. Thank you for the existence of grace and mercy and benevolence and ease, that they may become a part of our daily lives in ever-increasing measure. Thank you for our fingers and toes upon which we may count every single blessing we experience, knowing that to do so is to enhance our connection with you and the blessings of this good and bountiful earth. Amen. Before we spend our final few minutes relaxing through the postlude and then going our separate ways, I'd like to leave you with a thought. What do you want to be when you grow up? It doesn't matter what age you are. What do you want to be? Do you want to be happy? Peaceful? Do you want to be a peacemaker? This is the time in human history when virtually anything is possible, and we have plenty of the debris of our former selves with which to build something fairly impressive for the future. So I'd like to encourage you to think, what do you want to be in the world of the future you? Until next time, God bless, and be exceedingly well.